power dynamics as a woman in leadership, perhaps in your current leadership role or maybe even in your business. I know it can be a bit of a challenge, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a few strategies or insights rather. Excuse me, I'm under the weather today, everybody. But I want to be able to provide you with some insights to think about as you are planning to navigate these power dynamics that sometimes come up. Oftentimes, as women in leadership, as many of you know, we find ourselves in situations where we may be the only woman, we may be one of a few women, or we may be the first woman in a specific role. And sometimes navigating those power dynamics can be really hard and challenging. And I want to give you some insights to help you today. Now, I have been in senior leadership roles for the past 20 years, and I'm here really to help you any way that I can on your journey. Power dynamics is something that can be really challenging and hard to navigate, so I'm going to help you as best I can in this video. So I want to say hello to Pratik Galatkar 1011. Hello, Pratik. My voice is not behaving correctly today, so I apologize for it sounding a little bit not my baseline, right? So I apologize for that, but I want to say hello to you all. We have Thurman Lee Highsmith. Hello, Thurman. Good morning. How you doing today? Good to see you today. Power dynamics can be challenging, and if you have ever experienced power dynamics in your role as a woman in leadership, or perhaps as a man in leadership, let me know in the comments below, because this is something that people tend to struggle with. And I just want to share with you just very, very briefly about how you can navigate these situations. Of course, if you need some additional support in navigating power dynamics and you're in my target audience of women in leadership that I provide executive coaching and consultation services to, then excuse me, reach out to me in the description below for a strategy session. So Pratik Galatkar 1011 says, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. It's just my voice is not behaving today. Excuse me just a second, but I'm doing fantastic. Every day I am able to go live with y'all is a wonderful day for me. How are you doing today, Pratik? Most importantly, let me know how you're doing today. So when you're thinking about navigating those power dynamics, I want to share with you 3 insights to start. And there's a lot I can go into a lot more detail. And if my voice is behaving later this afternoon, I will. But one of the things that comes up when people think about power dynamics in the workplace setting, or professionally, or etc., is that they sometimes tend to think it's about your title. Who has the highest title? Who has the biggest title? Who's the most senior person there? But that's not always the case with power dynamics. Believe it or not, it has a lot more to do about who is influencing who. You may be somebody that is maybe in a role where you may not necessarily be the CEO of a company, but you're that person that knows a lot and talks to everybody. You will have a lot more influence than sometimes some of the people in senior leadership do. So power dynamics is not always about the title that you have. It is about who you're able to influence. So you may be wondering, well, how can I influence people? What exactly do I do to influence people? Well, that's why you subscribe to this channel. Number one, I focus on very advanced, high-level communication skills strategies, advanced level communication skill strategies, so that when you're in these very high-stakes situations or high-pressure situations, you can communicate more confidently and concisely. A lot of times people, they talk about communication, but what happens when you're in a more highly visible role and people are watching you? That's why you come to this channel. That's why you work with me as an executive coach if you're a woman in leadership. So before I go into the next strategy, let me see what's going on in the chat. Pratik Galatkar 1011 says, just left workspace, about to go home, and doing good as always. Well, fantastic, Pratik. I'm so glad you're doing well. Just always appreciate you being here on the channel. And if you have any questions about anything, especially as it relates to navigating your career and going to that next level that I know you're going to, you know I'm here to help you any way that I can, friend. So I mentioned to you about power dynamics. It's not necessarily about your title, it's about your influence. And for those of you joining, I normally do not sound this way, okay? I normally do not sound like this. My baseline voice is a lot higher. It's just my voice is not cooperating today. I want to say hello to GON3302. Comments not really appropriate, friend. This is probably not the right live for you. This live, my channel is here to focus and help people go to the next level in their careers. This channel is not about nonsense and foolish stuff. If I see any of that, I automatically hide you from the channel. So I'm trying to change people's lives for that person that's made that silly comment. Now, we talked about influence. So how do you learn how to influence people? Well, there's several ways you can influence people, and I'll go over just maybe one way just to get you started for you to have something to work with. One of the ways you can influence people is by being a good listener. I think people, oftentimes when we think about influence, people think about, what do I say? How do I say it? When do I say it? And all of those things are critically important if you're trying to influence other people and be that person that can navigate power dynamics. However, if you can listen a bit more than you speak, you will start to understand where people are coming from, what are they struggling with, and how you can potentially support them. That is one of the things I learned at the Aspire event here in Fort Lauderdale, is really come from a place of, how can you support someone? How can you support their business? How can you support the project? Excuse me. This is a really important aspect if you're trying to grow and gain influences, is be able to give more than be able to say you want to give. So before I go into my next insight I want to share with you, let's see what's going on in the chat. Pratika Light Car 1011 says, touch wood, you are doing a great job to ignore negativity and go ahead. Oh, well, thank you. So if for those of you just joining, welcome. If you've ever struggled, have you ever struggled with power dynamics at your job, in your role, in your business? Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it for the next few minutes while I have some time. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I don't normally sound like this. I apologize. My voice is not cooperating today. I did a lot of speaking yesterday, sorry. I don't know if I'm going to go live this evening. It depends. I may have to rest. But nonetheless, I appreciate you being here. We have Dondre Henley. Hello. How you doing today? And I believe you are new, so welcome. I haven't seen you on the live before. Dondre says, I love watching this girl every single time. Well, thank you, Dondre. I appreciate that. And if you have any questions as it relates to navigating yourself as a leader and as an individual that's trying to communicate at a higher level than your peers, then let me know in the comments below. I'm here to help you be that person that stands out from everybody else, that can communicate confidently and concisely in every person's situation. We have Trey 2681. Hello, Trey. How you doing today? Good to see you. Trey says hello from Texas. Trey, what part of Texas are you from? I used to live in Houston for a bit. I have visited Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas. So just curious to know what part of Texas you're from. Now, as I mentioned, for those of you who just joined, power dynamics can be kind of challenging. The first insight I want to share with you is specifically about how you can understand that power doesn't necessarily mean your title. It could be your influence. That's number one. Trey 2681 says from Baytown. Okay, fantastic. Great. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Now, the second strategy or insight I want to share. Yes, sorry, Trey. Trey says east of Houston. Yes, I know where Baytown is located. I've driven to Galveston area, so I kind of have an idea of what you're talking about. So fantastic. Now, my second insight for you, and if you like this information so far, feel free to share it with a friend, share it with a colleague, share it with a loved one. I'm really here to change people's lives. And in terms of how you communicate, that's the best way to do it. If you like it, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. There's a few videos, if you're new to me, that will give you a good foundation to start with. Managing your emotions under pressure, maintaining eye contact, and then being in a place where you can control your tone of voice. All of those strategies will help you if you're trying to advance your communication skills. So check out those videos on my live tab. That will give you something to work with, some basic fundamentals you need to start working on if you're trying to really elevate how you're communicating as a woman in leadership, a man in leadership, or maybe you're thinking about being a leader and you're at a point where you're just trying to elevate and you want to be able to communicate on your feet. Think on your feet, communicate under pressure. Those things will help you, those videos specifically. Now, my second insight for you would be to be very careful in terms of power dynamics, in terms of how you are observing other people. Now, let me explain. How you observe other people is critically important to navigating power dynamics. I would literally put this as number one, but I wanted to mention to you that it's not about your title. Sometimes people think it is, but this is definitely a strong number 2. If you can take a moment to observe the room and see how people are interacting with you, see how people are interacting with other people, see how people are interacting with themselves, and you may think of what you're talking about. You have to subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, learn more. But it will tell you a lot about the power dynamics in a room. This is something I talk about in the programs I have on my website at exciteexcellence.org in terms of products and services. If you are struggling with power dynamics and you are not sure of how you need to observe people and how you can not be that person that's just watching people, but that actually is observing and is able to deduct and figure out what's going on without people even saying a word, then you absolutely want to work with me for sure as an executive coach. But knowing that you have to observe and see what's going on in the room, it's going to help you out tremendously as you are trying to navigate those power dynamics. I will tell you, just from the past 20 years of me being in senior executive leadership roles as a C-suite, as a director, I've interacted with congressional leaders at the highest levels of our government here in the United States. You just have to observe. You will learn a lot of information by just seeing what's going on and observing and paying attention. So that's number 2. My third insight I want to share with you is to speak strategically. You want to try to listen a lot more than you speak. And I mentioned that in terms of influence, but when it comes to actually speaking, if you can consider or think about, just because you know a lot, that doesn't mean you have to say a lot all the time. It will actually help you to navigate power dynamics. So let me explain to you why this is important. Because people that can navigate power dynamics they already know influence. They understand that. They understand how they have to be very observant of what people are saying and what they're not saying. And then they also have to be able to be strategic in when they speak. Knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it is something that you do not wake up overnight and say, I got it, I know how to do it. It is something you have to be trained to do. And if you need some support with this, then you absolutely want to subscribe to the channel. This is what I talk about here all the time, to help you start learning those skills that a lot of times as leaders we're not taught how to do. Now, if you're a woman in leadership and you need some more customized support, you're in a highly visible role, then you definitely want to reach out to me for a strategy session in the description below. But knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it, where to say it, will help you navigate power dynamics. It will put you in a situation where people can understand that you have authority, that you are the person that can lead a conversation, that is able to navigate situations under pressure. It just says a lot about you as a leader, because most people, especially leaders, they struggle with this. They really struggle with this, and they're not sure of how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, and all of those things. And regardless of what industry you are in, being strategic in terms of how you communicate is critically important in your career. So I want to say hello we have Bishop Burton. Welcome. Good morning, Bishop. How you doing today? Good to see you as always, Bishop. Bishop says, hello, good morning, Bishop Burton. Welcome. Good to see you, Bishop. So we've talked about a couple things as it relates to power dynamics. And for those of you who just joined, I just want to go ahead and summarize this up for you quickly, just so that you know what's going on. I know there's a few of you still here, and Bishop, I know you just joined, so I want to definitely give you quick insights on power dynamics really quickly. 3 insights to share. There's a lot more to share. Of course, if you're subscribed to the channel, I'll go into a lot more about that. Insights really quickly as it relates to navigating power dynamics. 1, it's not about your title, it's about your influence. If you want to learn more, definitely watch the live. Number 2, be very, very observant of other people. People will tell you what they're thinking and what they're not thinking by their body language and their nonverbal communication gestures. This is critically important in terms of navigating power dynamics. And number 3, being very strategic about what you say, when you say, how you say it, where you say it, and what time you say it. All of those things come together to help you navigate power dynamics regardless of what industry you are in. I want to say hello to Vickery Rajput 2393. Welcome back, Vickery. Hope you're doing well today. I appreciate you all so much. As I mentioned earlier, my voice is normally not like this. I did a lot of speaking yesterday, and so I need to recover. So I'm going to try my best to go live this evening if my voice recovers. If it does not, I will absolutely go live tomorrow morning. Hopefully my voice will be better. We'll definitely do a Q&A. That's what I like to do on Fridays. But I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Feel free to like this video. It does allow it to reach more individuals. And if you have anything that you're dealing with, any challenging situations, any hard situations, reach out to me. Let me know. I deal with the hard things, the hard conversations. So just contact me. I'll support you any way that I can. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook at Excite Excellence. You're welcome to reach out to me there. And then, of course, if you watch any of the videos and you have some insights or questions that come up for you, especially on my live or recorded videos, then just put something in the comments below and I will do a video just for you, depending on the depth of the question that you have. I hope you all have an amazing day. And Vickery Rajput 2393 says, you invited me, USA. Well, definitely welcome. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Bye for now.